Come on, leave the saving of the world to the men? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Nerdy Girls After Dark. I am Cara, joined by my co-host Maya. We are 2 girls short today, but we are bringing on a special guest host who will be here any minute. We're very excited today to talk about dating profiles. We want to know your do's and your don'ts. We have gotten some in DMs and emails and all that kind of stuff. We have heard from you guys, but please go ahead and participate in the comments as we go on, because we would love to hear what your red flags, your green flags, your dating app experiences are. And we are so excited to share ours as well. So, Maya, sorry, I didn't give you a chance to say hi.
Hey everyone, I'm really excited for this topic because it's kind of crazy how we have like such a huge like culture shift into if you're young and single, or not even just young, anyone now, it's like the main way to meet people. So I'm really excited because I may be doing some editing on my profile right after this.
Yes. So everybody go ahead, grab your favorite beverage, get cozy, get your pajamas, your blankets. I don't know where you are in this world, maybe too warm for that. And settle into the comments. We're going to start this week with a very special Maya's favorite recommendation segment, where Maya is going to give us her recommendations. Maya, what do you have for us this week?
So some people don't know, I am very much a candle connoisseur. I have 2 whole cabinetfuls of candles. And, you know, it's spring, the weather's getting nice. So I wanted to give a few recommendations on some candles. These are specifically Bath & Body Works. You know, I know there's a lot of people who like Target, like TJ Maxx, Home Goods, all that, but I'm giving the candle, I'm not going to say the best, but the most accessible, I feel like, in terms of location, and that is Bath & Body Works. So for one, I want to give a recommendation on Butterfly. It is a new fragrance that launched just a few weeks ago, and it is the spring fragrance. It's very nice, very fresh. If you're anything like me, I do not like cupcake or pumpkin pie and it was really heavy, except for like around Christmas. There's some more gourmand fragrances that I like. Oh yes, vanilla mahogany. Love that.
Great
coconut mahogany too. Mahogany,
Ooh.
my favorite. It's so good.
I love it.
So if you like more of those like fresh, like airy type of fragrances, you would really like Butterfly. But there's also a new one, and I'm not a huge fan of like the super fruity fragrances. Sometimes I like them. Like I love Sunwatch Citrus is like another one that I really like. There's Pink Pineapple Sunrise, and I know that sounds so obnoxious.
Yes.
But it smells amazing, and it just gives your like space just that fresh, fruity, tropical vibe.
I have the body scrub of that smell, and it is awesome. Yeah.
Nice. Oh my
Good summer
God.
smell.
That's great.
I am also a big Bath & Body Works candles fan. I don't use them as much in the spring and summer. I am all about them in the fall, winter. I find that once it gets warm out, I'm like, nope, just going to leave the windows open and get as much fresh air as I can. But I might try that out. Butterfly. There we go. All right. So while we wait for our guests to figure out their tech issues, Do we want to get into some of our personal dating app experiences?
Yes.
Okay. Do you
Let's
want
do
to
it.
start us off? Start us off.
Okay, so for me personally, I've only used technically two dating apps. Hinge is definitely my number one, and I say that even though I used it for maybe a few months, and I actually met my last boyfriend on that app, and then I stopped, and then now I'm back on the app. And I downloaded Bumble just for their they had like a networking type experience on Bumble, so not for dating, but just like networking. It's for this grant I applied for. I would have never done that before. But in general, I don't like dating apps. I actually hate them. But I feel like for me, like that's how everyone is meeting each other nowadays. Most of my friends have met their significant others on a dating app, including Cara. So I can't wait for y'all to hear her story. But I'm the type of person I would rather like be in a coffee shop and me make intense eye contact with someone and then we just fall in love. I don't know, like that's my preferred way of meeting someone is in person, but nowadays that's not necessarily the case. And I feel like dating apps can be very overwhelming because you feel like you have infinite options. So it's really hard to zero in on one person unless they're really wowing you. And hopefully some of our tips will kind of give you that wow factor. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan, but it's like I'm here so I don't get fined type vibe. And our special guest is here.
Yay!
I'm all
Hey,
late
Josh.
and fashionably wrong, per usual.
How's it
I don't know
going?
what's going on.
Hey, Josh.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. What
I
are you
miss you
drinking?
guys. I am having a Truly on top of
Okay.
the 220 ounces beers that I already had. So
So this is gonna get real quick.
this is gonna
real quick.
a lot of fun.
Well, why don't you take 2 minutes to tell or less tell the listeners who you are, where you are, a little bit about you.
Hi everyone. Hey everyone. I'm Josh. I live in Salisbury, Maryland. I'm a nurse, work in the operating room, and I love Marvel. Like I'm a big Marvel like head ass. Like it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I'm here for a good time.
All right.
Okay. And let us know, what is your experience history with dating apps?
It's not a very good track record with with them. I'm gonna be honest with them. Like, so as I was telling you earlier, Maya, like I literally just got back on them like about a week or two ago. Like I've been single since like January, and I was like, no, I don't want to touch them for a while. Like, and then I was like, all right, I cave. Like, and then I made I made a Tinder. Well, I've already had like Tinder and Bumble. So I just like reactivated them, even though they were like full of old pictures. And then I made like a Hinge.
Yes.
And yeah, so Hinge is cool because it's crazy because like the game, I feel as though the game has changed since like the last time I was on there. So there's like a lot of like different new stuff on there. Like I think the prompts and stuff are pretty cool. So it's like it seems like a little bit more elevated and like I don't know. I think you can express your like quirkiness a little bit more like on Hinge, which is like really cool. So I don't know. I don't know if my profile is like good enough or what. I don't know. I still be like tweaking it, but I don't know. I think I'm having like a little bit more better this time around on the dating apps than I did a couple years ago. So
Awesome.
So
Well, you may be wondering, like, why is Josh, man, on Nerdy Girls After Dark, a podcast for women? Here's the thing, ladies. We need to know what the other side is looking at as well. So Josh is going to help us out with red flags and green flags from the male perspective. We're going to help him out and everybody listening with red flags and green flags from the female perspective. And hopefully we're all going to have a good time. So
chaotic, but open and honest conversation.
Feel free to comment in the chat what apps you have used or are currently using, or that you like the best. I will let you guys know my very successful story with dating apps. Like Maya, I hated the concept of dating apps, and I was so adamant that I would never meet anyone online. And then I have used Hinge and Bumble before to squash boredom, not for any like genuine reason. And after a couple of weeks of squashing boredom on Bumble, I met my fiance. So
Oh, you guys met on Bumble? I didn't
we
know that.
met on Bumble.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So I have some slither of hope.
Yes, yes, it does work. We have been together for 2.5 years now. We will be getting married at the end of this year. So I guess I will tell you what I did. So I started off with a line that I'm very proud of, because for anybody who's not familiar, on Bumble, the girl has to make the first move. I could see that Chrisan liked basketball, so I slid into his DMs with, "What happens if I beat you one-on-one?" Let me tell you that
What did he say?
he would make me dinner. It's been 2.5 years and I have never played him in basketball. So here's the thing. You just have to zero in on something that you think is interesting to them based on their profile, and then make a comment, say something interesting, like set yourself apart, and maybe you'll get engaged.
Every
like
time
a
you
big
tell me that
what-if.
story, I just crack up. I just literally imagine you with the basketball, like trying to like, make him like fall or break his ankles or something.
Yeah, that's me. Athletic as hell. Okay, so we are going to start by talking about some red flags. So we have some viewer comments, and then we're going to talk also about our own red flags. Josh, do you want to start us off with a big red flag for you on a dating app?
Dating apps, okay. Red flag for me. I hate it when the profile picture is like in a group like in a group photo. Like, who am I looking at? Like,
yes,
which
I
one
have
do
that on my
zoom in on?
list.
Like, I'm like, all right. And then like when they continuously like dwindling down, like I've seen one profile, like the first one you see, there was like 4 girls in it, and then it like went down to 3, and then it went down to 2, and I'm like, all right, who? And I couldn't tell them apart. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I was just like, it's a no for me, dog. So that was one of my red flags right there.
I have the same red flag. People who only post group pictures. Who are you? Who?
What is your purpose?
Or
Like,
there's the people with the group pic, and then they throw like an emoji on all their friends' pictures and be like, "This is me."
yes.
And I'm like, that's so annoying. And so for my, I have like a lot of guy friends. Every time we're like on vacation, I'm like, I'm gonna flick you up because you need new pictures, like on Instagram, everything. So I feel like if you have that person in your life who you, especially it's on the apps, flick them up. Because especially guys, I feel like guys are not really intentional about taking pictures of themselves like women.
Yes.
Yo. Especially updating pictures.
You said it went from 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, I'm like, oh,
You
this
made
is
it
like,
this far.
and like the one that I was looking at was already like not even in any of the other pictures. So I'm like, all right, this is a waste of time. Like, next.
We have a comment about the cheerleader effect. So this is when you post a picture next to 2 good-looking people, then you will automatically be seen as better looking because you are with good-looking, like you're surrounded by good-looking people. So that is an actual tactic that people use.
Wow.
Known as the cheerleader effect. If you are doing that, please stop. It is not working. We don't like it.
Wow, I didn't even know that existed. That's great insight.
Yes. There is another comment about if there was a picture of me in a tutu with camo pants and a basketball. There is an actual picture of me in a tutu, camel leggings, and a football. I don't know that I had that on my profile. I'd have to go back and look.
I would love to see this picture.
Okay,
Oh.
see, so I'm gonna skip ahead to a green flag if I
Okay.
can.
Okay.
Because one of my green flags was having like some kind of like fun photo that wasn't so serious, like something that shows off a personality or that you're not taking life too seriously or some kind of like fun something. That was on my list. Do you guys have a green flag?
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And I would say, and granted, a lot of my green flags are like very specific to Hinge, but like for the responses and like you hit on Josh earlier, like the prompts with Hinge is like new updates, they have a lot more. But I hate when people give sorry, we're doing green flags, right? Okay, sorry, Maya, I'm gonna take this back. Like showing your hobbies, like if things that you're passionate about, you
Yes.
could, be a snowboarder, you could, I don't know, be anything. Like you like to surf, anything like that, like showing like a picture of you doing what you love. I think that is really good because it shows that you have depth and it's not like every picture is just of you. Like we get to see you in action. So Shannon says, yeah, if every picture is a selfie, it's kind of weird to me. I agree. Like let me get some action shots.
Ooh, that was one of my red flags, but yes.
Yeah, kind of opposite of like the only posting pictures with other people. Don't only post a picture that you took of yourself. Show some variety, show some fun, that kind of stuff. Josh, give us
Yes.
a green or a red flag and just let us know which one.
I want to say a green flag for me would be listing like kind of like the like you said, like take pictures of like the hobbies that you see yourself doing, like kind of your fun stuff. But like I think maybe like listing some of like what what those hobbies do, like what you're doing with them, and like pictures matching along with it, just to kind of like all right, just to kind of pick up on the vibe. Like I guess what I'm saying, like if the pictures are kind of matching up with the prompts, and like because sometimes like they'll post a picture and like the prompt with it, I'm like that don't be matching very well. But like if it kind of have like maybe some consistency in it, and and kind of maybe seeing like pictures of them like hanging out with other people in it too, that one like with like a different variety of people, that's kind of like to me showing, oh okay, it's a little bit more outgoing versus like all the same selfie pictures of you like in your room. But like I don't know, it's I'm still kind of weeding them out per se, like I said, because the game has totally changed since the last time I've been on them. But I don't know if you can like just show some of your interest in the hobby with that'd be great.
There's a comment in the chat. 0% chance that Kassan, my fiance, had a funny picture. Yeah, you think that's not him. But that's why he loves me so much. So for the two of you who use both Hinge and Bumble, Josh, did you say you use Bumble or
Yes,
Tinder?
I got
Tinder.
Tinder, Bumble,
Okay.
and Hinge.
Are
Are there any other ones?
What would you say is the pros and cons? Like, what is your favorite app and why?
That's a good question.
For anybody
Honestly, for
looking
me,
to build a profile.
I want to say kind of Hinge is like going well right now, like especially like I noticed like on the prompts, like you can really like zero in, and like I like how you can answer some of them right then and there too, so that's like a real quick like hook to like get into one with that. Like I think I just got like mine is full of me dressed in like all my Marvel stuff, and like someone like already messaged me off the back, was like, hey, are you caught up with Moon Knight? So it's just like all right, like I like that. All right, this feels like home already. So like that one like definitely feels like that feels good when you can like answer the prompts like that, and you can kind of, it just narrows it right down to it, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of like pick up that vibe right there. So I'm gonna kind of go with Hinge because like you can post like with the video prompts too Not video. Oh, the voice
Oh.
prompt.
Voice prompts, yes.
Voice
Oh.
Yeah.
And that is actually one of my green flags.
One of the green. Okay.
Using a voice prompt?
Voice prompts. I don't care how ugly you are in your first picture. I'm gonna listen to your voice prompt, and there's a slight chance. And I'm that ugly. Not my type. Let me just say that physically. That's mean. But there's a slight chance if you have a sexy voice, like, more senses are engaged. You're engaging my eyes, now my hearing, like I'm into it. So I love hearing people's voices. So I think just in general, people who use voice prompts, I'm automatically going to listen. It doesn't matter who it is.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's why I also agree that Hinge is the best one. Even like Tinder, I feel like there's a stigma of being more like a hookup app.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I never downloaded it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've only used Hinge, and even though I don't like dating apps, I feel like it's the best one.
Yeah, I thought it was cool because it asks specific questions. So it will be like, what are like 3 of your, I don't know, funniest quotes or something? And then you have the opportunity to write down 3 quotes. And then you can show a little bit more of your personality. You can reel people in like Josh did with the Marvel pictures and some Marvel stuff. Then he got somebody who likes something that he likes. I liked Bumble because it was all in the girls' court. So I got to make the first move. Nothing happened without me going for it first, and gave me a little bit of power, which I really liked that. I'm going to go on to another red flag. The shirtless mirror pictures in the bathroom.
No, don't let it be a dirty mirror.
Yeah, like
Windex.
There's so many. It was just like one after another of a guy in the bathroom, shirtless, like taking a picture of himself in the mirror. Do something different. It's been done.
And especially if that's their first picture, it's like, oh, you want to lead with whatever your body, like, it's, I don't know, it's giving. This is all I have to offer.
Like, Windex ain't really that expensive for real.
Like,
it's literally 99 cents at Family Dollar.
We got
what are fish pics?
Okay, so this has come up a couple of times in the comments throughout the week. Fish pics, like the guys who are fishing and showing like a fish picture. That is, if that clarify if that's not what you're talking about, because I've gotten a few times that was a red flag.
That is absolutely. That's every guy in Ohio, and every guy in Columbus. We don't even have a lake near, so you're really going to Lake Erie, taking a picture and posting on your profile. Wow.
Well, maybe they're showing that they like travel.
That's funny. That's a big thing to the fish around here. Like being in Maryland, like because like we're like surrounded by like a whole peninsula, so I'm just stuck around like a bunch of Eastern Shores. So like I've like my buddies, and like they're showing them all the pictures of them just holding up these big ass fish with their like shoes off. But like sometimes it be working down here for some. Like I guess
it's a hobby. That's a hobby.
It ain't my hobby. Like,
and I guess for girls who like fishing, that could be a good something. I feel like very.
Oh my god! Look at that big fish. I love this comment from Shannon. If every picture is someone with a drink in their hand, that tells me you can't do most activities without needing a drink. That's a great call out.
Comment. Yeah,
it's a great call out.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I think I got wine in mine.
In every picture?
No, not in every picture. Is there a way I really need to send my profile like to you guys so you can
we should have done that.
Yes. Well, let us do
is that like a
redlining.
Can you do that?
Huh?
Can you do that? Like send someone your profile?
Not send it, but you can send the screenshots.
Yeah. Isaac says in the comments, leave my fishing pictures alone. I'm showing myself enjoying my
Stripers only.
Oh man. Okay, so some other comments that we got from some of our friends in the comments is that they don't value fitness, which to me was, well, honestly, that was my fiance who said that. So sucks to be him, I guess. Got him with the basketball comment and reeled him in before it was too late. That it goes along with like showing interests, and like it's a red flag if you're not seeing any of your own interests in there. If you live a certain lifestyle, if you value a certain lifestyle, and they do not value the same lifestyle, regardless of what it is, whether it's fitness, whether it's drinking, whether it's leaving the house or like studying or whatever it is, like a red flag of not like going into it and knowing that they don't have the same life habits that you do, it would be a red flag.
For sure.
Maya.
Yeah, one that I have is a major red flag is bland ass prompts. So hear me out on this. Like a guy that I saw earlier, it's like, what I'm grateful for. Answer was just life, one word. I'm like, if you don't give me something, why even answer the prompt? Like, this is for me to get to understand who you are, and you're giving these basic, generic ass Kmart brand answers. Like, I don't understand. So I just hate when people don't really like show. And I think if people are like that, I'm like, oh, okay, then I'm very much the type of person who like likes to dig deep and like have intellectual conversation. So that kind of tells me that, you know, I can only meet you at a certain level and to the point where you don't even want to showcase your depth to other people. So that's a red flag.
Yep. Well, the whole point of it is like you're trying to show people who you are in a very succinct manner. So any like thing that you use to be as broad as possible is, yeah.
Like everything's got to be like pristine with it. Like, I mean, when I first made my Hinge, like I was like, I don't know. Like I put it on pause for a while and I was like doing like some tweaking here and there on it. I think there's probably like a little bit stuff I can update. Oh, can I give a red flag? I just thought of one.
Yeah.
They post all Instagram pictures on there.
Oh, because like when you link them?
When you link it and it shows the same exact picture, I just go, poop.
Yeah, leave some exclusivity. Like when they get to know you, they should be able to unlock more pictures, not the same pictures.
Right.
I get there's this comment from Shannon when someone just lists their height and weight in their bio, like I'm not buying a piece of meat. Oh my god, that is so true. And they don't like put like religion, job, anything. They take everything out and they just put those two things in there.
Like I'm not buying a piece of meat.
Right. It's like if you're wanted by the government, just say that.
Right. Red flag for me is if they have a bunch of pictures, like I'm looking at guys' profiles, if they have a bunch of pictures with a bunch of other girls, or even if it's like one or two other girls, I don't care if it's your sister, if it's your cousin, whatever, what, like that to me is like, okay, they like other girls, like they have other girls in their corner. That's a no for me. Kristan had no pictures with other girls on his or any other people in general. They were not all selfies though, somehow. But yeah, pictures with other girls, that was a big swipe to the wrong side.
It's like, what am I supposed to like
are you that desperate for pics? You're pulling old pics from your ex, you know, things like that.
Right. How close are you? Like that kind of stuff.
When they like you said earlier, Maya, when they like really when they post a picture with a bunch of people, but like they put the emojis over their face or they like scribble it, like then don't use the picture.
Right. Just crop it something. Use something else.
Use something else, my dude or guy.
That reminds me of another red flag that someone, like one of my friends, submitted. And it was, and I guess it's more so prompts. When people answer like the nerdiest thing about you, it's a very common Hinge prompt. And they say, I like anime. We were talking anime. It's so common. It's like for you to say, I like sports at this point. I just feel like anime, everyone likes, not everyone, but a lot of people do. Is it really considered nerdy at this point? So it's like, if you're basic, just say that. Me and Cara were talking about it. We're like, tell me you have a rock collection. Tell me you're a LARPer. Tell me you're in a Civil War reenactment. Something. Like anime, like
4 books.
things that are not really nerdy under that prompt.
Yes. Be transparent, be like vulnerable, show a piece, have fun. I don't, but it could like this is Nerdy Girls After Dark, so we do have a nerdy side. We love.
So these are all nerdy girls here too. So
yes.
Okay.
Josh.
I'm right at home.
Shoot your shot, ladies.
I don't know. Like I feel as though like I've like at times like I take pride in my Funko collection that I have.
My profile.
And it's like, oh, I want to show them all, but like. I don't know. I've been like laughed about a lot of times for them. So it's just like a lot of times, like, I don't know if some people may like maybe seem self-conscious about that too, like putting it on there. Like, do you just like throw that out there still or?
I feel like I keep my Marvel stuff to one comment. It's like, I say the most nerdy thing about me is I have over 100 Marvel Funko Pops. It's more specific, you know. It's more than just the average Marvel fan, like, oh, I actually collect. But I leave it at one thing.
Josh
like if I were to have like a picture of me in a Marvel tee at a convention, all that, I'm like, oh wow, her whole identity is Marvel. So I think leaving it to one post could be good.
Josh is gonna change his from like having over 2,000 Marvel Funko Pops. Oh yeah, over 100 sounds good.
Like I was like, is this too much? Am I gonna scare you away? Like,
well, if it scares that person away, that's a good filter because if she's not really fucking with the Funko Pop collection, will she fuck with you? If that's important to you,
right?
That's a very good point.
Yeah, so it's all about really those filters, getting the people that really you want to align with your vibe and your interests.
Right.
So how much do you feel like is the proper amount of stuff to share and the amount of stuff to keep? Because you also don't want that person that's like when you match with them, they're like, oh yeah, so my mother-in-law or my mother is going out here with this person and they've really hurt my feelings because of this and that. And you're like, I just said hi to you for the first time 2 minutes ago. Let's take a beat. So how much is too much? How much is the right amount?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm still trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to balance that out too. Like how much do you like say, or like, I don't know. I guess it all depends on like, I guess the vibe you get from it, but like also how much you put in that profile too. And what you guys, if you do end up matching and like kind of what you say off the back, but like, I don't know. Can I say red flag?
Yes.
I just thought of one. Or when you guys like automatically like match and they just be like hi or like hey, like I don't know, I just feel it's like, what am I supposed to do with like I don't know, like how am I supposed to like build off of that and just kind of talk like, hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Like right. I don't know, like give me something to like latch on to.
Right. And I feel like with that for him specifically, because I'm like, there's so many people always like, hey, how was your day? I'm like, don't how was your day me to death. All these other people that I'm talking to, like, I think it's good to like reference something that they had on their profile. Like sometimes they're like, tell me about your favorite TV show or something like that. So, oh my gosh. This is a version of a Facebook post. This is so true.
Do you guys remember the Facebook poke where you would poke somebody? Like,
this is the comment of the century for real. That is so true.
It's so true. I don't think so. I think they got rid of that a long time ago.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, so I feel like I always try to go back to a prompt on their profile to make a little bit more focused conversation rather than just, hey, how are you? Like, I'm not going to share my whole day with you.
Exactly. Right. If I was to beat you one-on-one in basketball, boom. You have to realize that this is like an interview process. You are competing with depending on how often they use the app, 10s, 20s, hundreds of other people to see if you have a connection with this person. You cannot start with, hey, the Facebook poke. You cannot start with like, how's your day? This and that. You have to do something to build that connection with them. And they have to do the same thing to you. So one of the red flags / green flags that came in this week was that if they don't show you attention, if they're not kind of chasing you, if they're not initiating conversation, if they're not carrying conversation, huge red flag. Whereas if you flip it, if they are continually talking to you, if they are asking questions, so it's not just being like, how are you? Good. Okay, well, what are you doing today? Going out for dinner. Like, then red flag, leave, delete it. I don't care what they look like.
If I'm putting all the effort in there, no.
Yes, they will look that good 20 years from now, and you will still have no conversation. Like, take the person with the conversation, and then you will be happy for a lot longer.
That's very true. There's a guy I was talking to, like, currently on the app, and he's like, "Do you like roller coasters?" Yes, like, yes. Thank you for asking me.
Like, are we about to go? Like, what are you about to do for us? Like,
I'm like, yes. If you give me a ticket to Cedar Point, I'm there.
See, I like that. That's a different question. Like, you don't hear that very often. So I like that. I didn't like that. Okay, we had also only has pics from the collar up. That's fine.
That is so true, because it's like, I know everyone is on their own journey in terms of their body, so you just never know what people's relationship with their body is. That's fine, but that's also something to be like curious about.
Yeah,
you know. And it's like, you know how like our parents, like generation, they always take pictures like right here, like Facebook pictures. I'm like, okay, why are you taking all your pictures like that? I remember Cara in our chat, the one guy literally looked, it was just a green screen, like mountains, roller coasters, your couch. The background was the only thing that changed. So I think that it is a red flag I think it's good to have a full body picture, at least one on your profile.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if people are whatever they have feelings about it, at least you know that they have seen your full body, and they can either appreciate that, or, you know, they cannot waste your time, and, you know, whatever.
Yeah, because I think especially like as women, we struggle with that. Like, oh, we usually don't feel great about how we look. And so if we don't do that, but then we meet up with them in person and they're like, ugh, like, you don't look how I thought you would. That to me, like, that's hurtful. And so then at the end of the day, like, that hurts a lot more than if I just show, like, this is how I look. And I like that. So somebody else will like that too. And then you kind of get what you put out in that way.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Great.
Also, multiple pictures with pets. They said there should be a maximum one picture with pets. Don't put just you and your pets in all the photos.
Honestly,
I agree.
Friends' dogs, for real. You all know about them too.
Yeah. But is it more than one pic though? You got multiple pics on there?
No, actually, no. I used to have them. On there. I used to trap them out. Now, I used to do my like, I had one. No, I didn't have a picture of my godson up there, but like, I didn't want to post any picture of that because they're gonna like, what's he doing with this white child? Like, what's going on here? Like, what's the dynamic here with it? And I don't want to get thrown off with that. So,
that's your stepson, all that. Yeah, no, for real. And I agree with that, because there's a lot of guys that'll be like, instead of having, okay, if it's you and your dog and it's one picture, that's fine, but it's just a picture of just your dog, another one of just your dog, then you and your dog. I'm like, gosh, do you smell like dog? Is your house covered in dog hair? Like, you know, as someone who used to have a dog, like a big dog that shed, like, those are the things that I'm like, if I'm constantly showcasing Namor, like, what are people going to think? So I agree with that, because it's like, also, is the dog your only friend? And it could be, and you could be attracting that, but it's a red flag for me.
Right.
It's not a red flag for me. If your dog is in every picture or whatever, that's not a red flag. If it is only your dog, like that's a catfish. Get out. Like if there's only pictures of pets, run. That's a huge red flag. Another red flag, if it is a famous person in the picture, that is not a real like person that you should be talking to. I have had where I have found pictures of Neymar Jr., who was a very famous soccer player. I've had pictures of all kinds of like different famous people that they thought that I guess girls wouldn't know, at different athletes and stuff like that.
Oh, like the kind of like the red flags too. Also, I've noticed like on the profiles, like especially around here, like I don't know, I'll see like a girl like pop up, like I don't know, like extra tan, like taking like all these luxurious pictures in these big cities, and like, and sometimes I guess when they have like that verified check, like how do you get that check? Does that mean like I don't know? Sometimes I think that's sus, like, and sometimes it's like kind of like in a fake profile, like I don't know, can you guys kind of like weed those out a little bit? Because I've noticed like off the bat, yo, this is a fake one or like a bot on it.
I got
also, yeah. Oh, you
got
got
literally, it was a few weeks after Sarah told us about her experience. And there's a guy, I'm like, but his pic, you can tell he just probably put it from someone he knew's profile. But when I talked to him, he immediately asked for my address. I'm like, oh, okay, you're like either a serial killer, something's not right here. Something doesn't make sense. So yeah, like I feel like also if you can't tell by the pictures when you have a conversations with someone, you can know based on how they converse with you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that when I was on Tinder a couple years ago. Like I'm like, they were like, "What's your?"
They're asking for your phone number immediately, asking for your address because they're going to sell that to all these robocallers and stuff like that. That's a red flag for sure. Oh, we have some Shannon, I've had guys question my nerd knowledge to prove I'm a real fan. It really stinks. Girl, follow me and watch the reel that I posted because I get that. I get that. It happens to me all the time.
I know you are.
And it's like, well, I could never be single again. Yeah, I'm like, if you're taken, be happy and make that shit work because it's really ugly.
It's a tough world.
Also, if they have no life outside of you and you're kind of obsessed with you, yes.
Especially on the dating app, like because you're not together yet, you should not be their world at this point in time. Having your own purpose, your own life, your own interests and friends and activities and all that kind of stuff is very important.
For sure. And then we got we need Navigami from Catfish. That's a great comment. Yeah, for sure.
Another red flag is how they talk to you. Especially when you're on a dating app, it can be very easy to, not like to forget that the other person is a real person. And to just kind of get in the habit of, yeah, this is what I do. I'm talking to at least 15 people at the same time, like whatever, who cares? How they talk to you is a huge indication of how it's going to be. The reason why I ended up actually taking Chris on seriously was because he talked to me very respectfully and was always pushing conversation and asking me, what I was interested in, and was just a really good and down-to-earth conversation all the time. So always watch how they talk to you. Also, how they talk about other people, especially if you're just chatting on the app. Watch how they talk about their friends or their family. If they do talk about it, if they keep things really secret, really private. Lots to look out for. Does anybody have any green flags? Anything that they love, that they want to?
Yes.
That they look for?
I have a green flag.
Okay.
And it is pictures with friends, specifically diverse friend groups. Because I feel like Hinge is 90% for me, white men. And I'm fine. I mean, I have no type. I'm totally down for whatever. But, when it's someone who's not your same race, it's like it's good to know that they have friends. So it's like, if you see dark nipples, you're not going to be weird about it.
with different groups of friends. I think that's what I was trying to like explain earlier. When you see like
Yeah.
different races too, like okay, like I can. It almost makes you feel as though I can be open in myself, like a little
Right.
bit,
Like I'm not going to
with
have
no
these
judgment.
layers of education,
Yeah.
that I have to, go through, these barriers to educate you about what it is to date someone like me. So yeah, for sure.
Unless they're white, in which case you will always have to do that. We are always in a constant state of learning, but the level of how much you have to say.
Right. At least you get a starting point,
You got right.
It's not ground zero,
Yeah. You don't have to come in and be like the one like exotic person that everyone's like, wow, let me ask them all these questions and stuff like that.
Right. And I feel like obviously, that could be the case still if someone has like diverse friend group, or who knows, the person in the picture could just be someone you randomly took a picture with in the bar, but at least it gives like a little bit more of an indication of your surroundings.
Oh, and I guess talk about like communication a bit too. Like you see how they like respond as a green flag, I guess. See how they respond when they, when they ask you about your day, if they like, if they like take that in and like ask more questions about it, just to kind of see where their curiosity level, because a lot of times you can reply and say something back and they just be like, oh, that's cool, or sometimes they might expand on it so you can explain a little bit more, so that communication's open. But like if you're kind of getting those short one worded responses, and you kind of know that's like that's more of the red flag. But like if they're actually like taking the time to read all your messages and all this stuff that you're saying and respond to that, and to say something new on top of that, I think that's kind of like a good indicating in a way too. So
for sure,
this levels to this shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anybody have any red or green flags left that haven't been talked about?
I have one, and I'll make this really quick, and that's hats in all pictures. I hate when guys have hats. I'm like, do you just have a funny shaped head? Like, at least just showcase it now, so I won't have to. I don't know, like hats, especially when they're holding the hat and they're covering their eyes.
If anybody watches,
black guys love to do that.
If anybody watches Before the 90 Days, there's a guy on there who will not take his hat off, and it's been a full season.
I'm like, yeah, and it's like, for me, it's like, now I'm wondering, I'm curious, what does your head look like under the hat?
They're like, oh no, but this hairline looking like
right, and it's like, shoot, most guys in our year, like, that's a receding hairline. Okay, that's fine. At least show it to me.
Show who you are.
Right. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, you can't just keep acting like someone else. You have to show who you are. That's how you find people who don't care about that type of stuff.
Right.
Looks are just looks. Like, and I know that's a big thing, and I struggle with that too. But like, if you're bald, be bald. There are people like Stanley Tucci that just go for it and do it well. Like, just it's confidence. It's how you perceive yourself. It's how you put yourself out. You could, have 3 like little baby hairs here and still rock it if you had the right.
Or you can. We talked about
really?
last week. You can be like LeBron. Like, you can get a little spray, something.
You guys are gonna laugh at us. Oh, this is comforting to hear.
we accept all of it,
I don't know. I'm starting to get up there.
Then just shave it off and own the bald look. There's nothing wrong with that.
For sure.
We'll see what the 30s bring.
Yeah, just wait. So we hope that you learned something about dating profile. Hit us up if you have more red flags, green flags. We would love to hear them. Josh, would you like to stick around for our At This Point I'm Too Afraid to Ask segment, in which our listeners have asked us questions? Yeah? Okay. At this point, I'm too afraid to ask. The first question that came in is, what does simp mean? And I am maybe too old to know, or just too lame. So I'm going to leave it to Maya to answer that one.
Yes, I think Maya can describe it very well.
I mean, I feel like you know the term simp, though. Right?
How would I like? like simping over someone is like kind of how do I put it?
Well, I feel like the word simp is synonymous with the term pussy whipped. I feel weird saying that on this podcast, but it is like basically a guy, and I think simp is usually, I've only heard it referred to men, so I'm sure it's interchangeable in some capacity, but like a guy who goes over the top, he's so emotionally invested into somebody that to the point where it comes off as you just being like just kind of overly caring or obsessive. So for example, if say I'm at home and I get a call like from a guy that I may have just started talking to, I can come over, I can make you breakfast, all this stuff, and you're like, whoa, that's a lot for someone I just started talking to. I will then call him a simp. Like,
so it's a negative connotation. It's a negative connotation.
Yeah, like it's not a good thing. Like a lot of guys call each other, oh, he's a simp. If
like
he
kind of like being a teacher's pet-ish, like. Like, I don't know. I think of a simp, like, I don't know. I think of, like, Ebony Maw. Like, he was such a simp for Thanos. Like, this man was got on his knees, gave him the Tesseract, did this whole speech. Like, bruh, it's not all that serious, dude. Like,
that's like
good. Over the top. Example. Like, or from Netflix, I'm rewatching Daredevil right now. And, like, how, what was his name? Wilson Fisk's right-hand man, Wesley.
Oh
God. It was just painful. Like, bro, like it ain't that deep.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like another MCU like simp, but I don't. Okay, you know how Ned was with Betty? You would describe him as a simp.
Yes.
Like, oh, let's sit together on an airplane. Like, kind of head ass, like corny, but you love,
I said, I can't believe this.
I am glad to see that there are other people in the comments who did not know what it meant. So I'm not the only one.
Yeah, so I think that's my best definition for it.
See, that's what I was kind of leaning towards at first, but I don't know, man. I gotta check Urban Dictionary like every other day for real at this point.
Yeah.
This is what growing up means, man. Just you wait till you hit the other side of 30. Okay. Little spoon or big spoon?
Little spoon.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're a big spoon, you're gonna have the dead arm. Like your arm is underneath the person. Like, and your arm is gonna like that pressure is gonna make it fall asleep. I like just being able to be like this and have someone's arms around me.
Yep, all the time.
I will say I have occasionally been, I am a little spoon person, obviously. I've occasionally been the big spoon. Chrisanne, if you're in the comments, I'm so sorry. But I do not put my arm under him because then I would die. He's a very strong, large man. So I just like keep this hand to myself and then just wrap the other hand around so that I avoid that. And it's also surprisingly comfortable. And I think that you should try it sometime.
Okay. Once this Hinge stuff works out, I'll let you know how that goes.
I'm always the big spoon, but it would be nice to be the little spoon sometimes.
I'm like, yeah, sometimes you got to switch it up because sometimes, like, no one wants to be the same. I think I've been big spoon maybe a handful of times, but I prefer little spoon.
Yeah, occasionally it's nice, They also like to know that they are cared for and loved and safe and all that kind of stuff. I think it's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a little spoon in the comments as well.
Yes.
Okay, so our last question that we have on deck this week is, who is the superior Jonas brother? I can't believe Jalen is not on this podcast to answer this question. Jalen and I are very big. It's Nick, obviously.
It's Nick.
What? I think it's Joe.
What?
I think it's Joe.
Nick, Joe, then Kevin.
And I feel like I have one of my best friends. She was a huge Kevin. I'm like, you just want to be different. Like, Kevin, really?
He's a nice guy. You know, he's a family guy. He's got like,
with them
he dresses
sideburns, like.
well.
He's got diabetes. That's good, you know.
That's Nick, right?
Yeah, that's
Oh
Nick.
wait, who were we talking about?
We were talking about Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Oh my, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like Nick Jonas did so much for like the diabetes awareness community because all my friends who were obsessed with Nick were donating, walks, doing all that stuff, and I'm like, I really loved how he used this platform. But I felt like Joe had more of an edge to him, and he has like that nasally voice. Oh, and Camp Rock really just did it for him. So I like it.
I think I was like, man, I remember, I think it was the Grammys one year when they were performing, and then they had Stevie Wonder come on, and then I was, yep, they made it. Like, yep.
I did not remember that. Wow.
I remember that.
You remember that was when they did Burn Up? I was burning up. Like,
I mean, and it's like Joe was almost like the lead singer for a lot, and then when Nick had his own like solo career, I feel like for me, I'm like, oh, okay, I see the appeal there. Like Jealous, love that song.
Yes, Nick's solo career is amazing. Joe's one album solo career that he did was terrible. However, DNCE is awesome. I love DNCE, so I gotta give him that. You know me, I like a little bit of a thicker man, so I gotta go Nick because he is the thickest of the three. But also his voice, like I love his voice the most out of everybody. He's got acting going on, he's got singing, he's got, I don't know, I like Nick.
Well, Brian said the one from Jumanji, so that's Nick. And then he said Stevie Wonder, can we have a conspiracy theories episode, because Brian is convinced that he is not blind, but that's a conversation for another day.
An episode, a conspiracy episode.
Right. We get conspiracy theories.
Well,
still Team Joe all the way, and because the Love Bug music video. I'll just say that. That's how I rest my case.
And Joe got you in that video?
Yes.
I
just love him.
We all have different tastes.
Poor Kevin, man. Like he's always in the bottom 4%, you know?
Yeah, I feel bad for him, but it's like, play to your strengths. He's a great guitar player.
He's a good family man. He's a good performer. Like he's a good performer. I'm sure his voice isn't that bad either.
They really set the tone back in the day.
Yeah, they did. It's talking about a boy group that like boy bands, maybe because they're brothers, but they're still thriving.
They're still kicking.
Yeah. I love that music video with like them and all their like significant others.
Yes. Sucker.
Yeah, Sucker.
That was amazing. And like another point for Nick is that he married Priyanka Chopra. Like what? Like that girl is beautiful.
What does she do?
She's an actress.
What do you mean? You don't know who she is?
Maybe I saw this.
I believe that she was a Bollywood actress and then came to Hollywood.
What was that one TV show?
Never mind.
Quantico.
Yeah, Quantico. Oh my god, I remember watching that when I was in college. It was
That's a great show.
Yeah.
Okay, rapid fire questions to close us out for the day. Feel free to participate in the comments. Maya, your favorite TV show of all time?
Monk.
Josh, your favorite food to eat of all time?
It's gotta be chicken.
Chicken.
Poor Josh.
I was not expecting that.
No hesitation there.
Maya, you get $50,000 to go on a vacation. Where are you going?
Tahiti.
Okay.
It's a wonderful place or magical place.
Josh, you get $250,000. What do you do? Do you quit your job or do you keep it?
I quit that bitch.
Those people can speak themselves. Last one, Maya, you have one drink that you can drink for the rest of your life and nothing else. What is it?
Hot green tea. Jasmine green tea.
Josh, same question.
Drink, on a Palmer.
For that one drink for the rest of your life.
I get the best of both worlds in one drink.
Arnold Palmer and chicken. I mean,
Yeah.
I would take water, but okay.
Oh yeah, water. That's probably a good one.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I
for the
wouldn't
next
last long without water.
episode about health that we will be talking about. Okay, we have some comments. Scrubs, Haven, and Ted Lasso for favorite TV show.
I
Parks
love
and Rec.
Scrubs. Oh my gosh.
I'd probably go with Sopranos for me.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you're a huge Sopranos fan.
I'm a big Sopranos fan. Like, I didn't think, like, I watched that during quarantine, and I don't know what it is. I just love it.
Someone is backing Josh up on the
Ernie Palmy.
Unreal. Unreal. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you learned something about a dating app profile. People who are taken, I hope you are grateful going to bed that you give your partner an extra hug and a kiss tonight. And that people who are single and looking, that you learned something today. If you learned something, send us a message, put a comment, let us know. If you are like going crazy that we missed some major red flag or green flag, also let us know.
I gotta do something.
You what?
Huh? That's what I gotta do. Tweaking on my profile.
I know. Editing mode for real.
BB, stay tuned and we'll check back in with Josh in a couple of months to see how he's done on his. And with that, we will see you later. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Salute.
Yay.